Hi, I'm Glenn with Prospects Home and Commercial Inspections, and we're going to talk a little bit about framing inspections. As a company, we don't just inspect homes that are already built for buyers and sellers, we also inspect homes as they're being built. And one of the most critical steps, or the most critical, is a framing inspection. Before the insulation and drywall is covered up all of the frame, we try to go through and kind of see what's going on with the house. Okay, and so what I want to talk about is joist hangers, the metal components that support the floor system in the house. Okay, and so there are principally two types that are used in homes. This type, which is called a top mount hanger, okay, and this type, which we refer to as a face mount hanger. Right, top mount because in order to install it, there are holes in the top right here, these circular holes. That's where the nails go. And if this is the beam, you hang it like this, you nail it in the top, and then you drop the floor joist into it so it's supported like that. Okay, so if this, again, if this is your beam, it sits like that, you nail it in the top, and you drop the joist into the hanger. Okay, so that's how these are. Very few nails, just two. Okay. These are called face mount hangers. Okay, they don't have the piece at the top, and so you have to attach them to the face of the beam and then nail them through the flanges. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 nails on this hanger. Some hangers have 12, some have 16 nail holes in them, and you have to use every single hole. Okay, so if I were attaching, let's say this was a floor joist and I'm attaching it to this beam, I have to mount this here, nail it in place, and then drop this in like that. Okay, so this would be nailed like that, so you'd end up with this relationship between the two. Okay, so it's important with these hangers, okay, since all of the load depends on the nails that you drive in, the nails have to be driven in all the way in, and you have to make sure that you use nails in every hole provided with by the manufacturer. Okay, you can't leave any holes out. All right. Whereas with top mount hangers, okay, the nails aren't under load. It's like sort of hanging off a wall. Okay, this holds onto the top of the wall. This just holds this in place, but the weight is carried by this part of the hanger, and that's it. That's why you don't need as many nails. Right. So here, this is a framing inspection that we did recently, and I want to show you what they did using top mount hangers. Okay, so here's a little example. This is a house we did not too long ago, and we did the framing, and I'm going to show you, actually, if I jump over here, it's going to be a little bit easier. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Okay, this is a top mount hanger. Okay, it's supposed to be nailed in from the top, and if you notice how it's bellied out, it's buckled outwards, and this is bumped in, because apparently what they did, they put the floor system in place, they installed the subfloor, and they forgot to put the hanger in. So they tried to put the hanger in after the fact, and they couldn't get it all the way in. So if you look at this hanger, okay, this is the subfloor, you have to put the hanger in place, then the joist, and then put the subfloor on top. It looks like they put the subfloor on top, and then they tried to force this in after the fact. So they hammered at it, couldn't get it all the way in, and so the joist here wasn't resting on the bottom of the hanger as it should, so they hammered the bottom of the hanger upwards to meet the joist. Okay, here's another example. Okay, as you can see here, how the top of the hanger is buckled and they tried to drive nails in. Okay, so really what you have is barely this amount of the hanger holding, and I'm pretty sure there are no nails in the top. They drove the nails through here trying to hold this thing in place. Okay, here's another view. In this case, well, the guys couldn't get it in at all, so what did they do? They cut off the top of the hanger, and then they tried to nail it through here, which is the flange. They tried driving nails through this part, but this is not a face mount hanger. Okay, it has to be nailed in through the top. So they tried driving nails through here, converting a face mount hanger a top mount hanger to a face mount hanger, and the manufacturers of these joist hangers make it very clear you cannot modify these hangers in any way, shape, or form. You cannot cut them. You cannot bend them. You're supposed to use them as they're supposed to be used. Okay. Here's a another example. Okay. You see clearly here they couldn't get the hanger in. Okay, as they should. So they just drove 2 nails in there and called it a day. Okay. Show you a couple more. Here's another close-up. You can see how they drove nails into the bottom of this, trying to force it upwards, which is not going to work because the weight of the joist is going to pull it back down. Okay, because these are not designed to be nailed in the bottom like that. Okay. Couple more examples that you can see clearly how they really messed that up. Right. So we just want to emphasize, you're buying a new home, paying well over, this house in particular actually was over $1 million. I think it was like $1.6 million house. And but no matter, it doesn't matter if the house costs you, $100,000 versus $1 million, the framing has to be done properly so that it properly supports your floor structure, so that over time your floors don't get abnormal settlement and cracking and all those other things that they like to tell you. Builders like to say, well, if the house settles, it's normal settlement, you get here like, well, yes, they do. However, if you eliminate doing silly things like this, the amount of cracks and settling that you get in a house are minimized. Okay, but proper use of joist hangers is essential to properly support your floor system. And there's just one more I want to show you real quick. See right here, this hanger, this is a face mount hanger. And if you look carefully, that face mount hanger is kicked out sideways. Okay, and let me show you a close-up of that. See? And so this hanger is supposed to be set vertical to hold this joist vertical so that there's no gap here. Okay, so they really have the hanger spread out like this. Okay, it has to be installed so that the sides are parallel. That properly supports the joist. If it's installed like this, then it could allow the joist itself to rotate, which you definitely don't want to happen. Okay, so again, proper installation of hangers is absolutely essential. Right, and that's another job for another day. Thank you. Hope that was informational, and talk to your friends. Anyone doing building a new home, make sure that they get a framing inspection.